There are 2 new maps in the latest update for Quake Champions, so I'll give you a tour of them while I talk about early access. Due to performance issues, I haven't been doing much with Quake Champions lately. The reason for this is I don't want new players to join just yet, because they could easily be scared away by the problems like rubber banding, rockets not hitting, and so on. That's the thing, with Quake veterans, even with all the problems, we will stick with it, because it's Quake. A new player that doesn't have that dedication though, they may never come back. A lot of people have been asking my opinion on early access, and what I think of Quake Champions so far though, including the $1 million tournament. I've answered those questions a few times while I've been streaming, but I'm hoping this video can serve as an FAQ so I don't have to repeat it. Okay, $1 million tournament. The game wasn't really ready for that, but overall we got some great action, and of course saw what the best in the world could do. One of the best things about it though was a 19-year-old won in Sacrifice and Duel. Why that's good? Well, he's obviously been playing a long time, but many of us have been playing as long as he's been alive, and even with that experience, he still dominated. So a message to all newcomers, it can be done. If you dedicate yourself, you do have a chance of becoming a champion. It really depends on your potential and how much time you're willing to commit to it. I say play for fun and see what happens. And the Australian player that qualified on a 270 ping, known by many as Dan but also known as Astroboy, he managed to place in the top 16, which of course is an amazing effort. It also looks like there's going to be a lot of tournaments in the future, so now's a good time to start practicing. The game is actually a lot of fun, despite the issues. I've actually been really enjoying it. Quake Live is still great, but it's not as interesting to me, even though it runs a lot better and I can actually hit rails. Maybe it's because Quake Champions is new. I guess we'll see. I was worried about the champion element, but I see now they've just combined every Quake and added some extra elements to it. That was always going to be an issue, and this seems like a good solution. The original Quake players wanted a new Quake, Quake 2 players wanted a new Quake 2, and Quake 3 players, you get the idea. So why not just combine them all into one? Everyone can use a champion that plays like a previous Quake. Slash is a favourite with her crouch sliding, and even though I didn't get into Quake 4, I can definitely see the appeal. It's great fun watching people cruise around the maps with her, and balance is surprisingly good given the differences. But they will continue to tweak it. Fan favourite Doomsayer is now in the game too. I think they should add the ledge climb as well, as the double jump isn't really powerful enough to increase mobility as it probably could, and the active ability is a bit too weak. The gauntlet actually seems more powerful. He does increase in speed though, so it's not a bad way to escape or freak people out. As for cost, it's $30 at the moment. That's the early access price though. It'll be $40 on release, so it's a good idea to get it now to save. That will give you access to all champions now and in the future, so any they release. One thing I don't like though, the weapon skins are about $10 each right now. The in-game currency is roughly $1 per 100. I was going to buy heaps of stuff just to help support the game, but given the prices, on principle alone, I don't really want to encourage it. It's better to make 100 sales at $3 than no sales at $10. Maybe I'm just cheap, I don't know, but that still seems too high. They're really not that important or interesting to the game to be that much, so I hope they change it, preferably next patch. The champions are about $8 each at the moment. I would have thought that $5 was a better price, but I guess it makes sense in terms of incentive to buy the pack instead. A new feature is weapon shaders, but I found that confusing. Best to leave them on default in my opinion. The reason is that in the corner of your eye, you can see the color and know which weapon you have out. Keeping it default is one less thing to distract you from the game. Next is the rune challenges, and there are so many I don't even want to think about completing them. You would have to grind for a very long time to get them all done. Again, it's better to just play for fun, but as a reward you do get extra loot boxes, and eventually, you'll unlock a legendary armor set for each champ. Some look really cool, but maybe a bit out of place for the game, and you can pick up lore from the pots too. It's one per map, and as soon as it's found, it will be announced on the server, so you can stop looking from then on. And the lore is basically just a backstory for each champ. Overall, I'm really liking the direction of the game. I'm sure it will be amazing once finished, but for now the performance issues are making it harder to enjoy. That's expected though, they wanted a long beta, and now we're in early access, so a long way to go before the game is officially released. I'll start doing more tutorials and videos about it again once the game is in a better condition. And just quickly, if you want to play for free, you go through the Bethesda launcher, and if you want to buy it, just go through Steam. And because people keep asking me, I play with 0.85 sensitivity at 1600 DPI, usually with the FK2, but it really depends on what mouse I'm testing at the time. I hope that answers most of your questions for now. I'll make another video like this when it seems I need to. Until then, good luck and have fun.